All right, here we are back again on part three.
Part three. God, where did I leave off at? Dang it.
I know you're in the middle of shit. I was trying to pick a spot to a decent place to intervene, but I'm pretty sure you were talking about. You said all I needed to do was lose 12 pounds, and then I could have been
Oh,
tracking down into the other class.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Because out west, here in the Northwest,
Yep.
they don't offer a 220 class, right? So it's
Right.
kind of like, okay, well, I don't want to cut to 198 anymore because I'm getting older and my wife knows how to cook that's awesome. But, I'd rather just go ahead and just say, hey, you know what? Let me just be where I'm at and just worry about getting strong instead of worrying about getting strong. Oh, watch what I eat. Oh, cut weight. I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't. It
Yep. And you
burns me
don't
up.
have to.
Yeah, I just can't do it no more. You know what I mean?
So, do you have kids?
Yes, I have. Well, I had three.
Okay.
My son tragically passed away a couple years ago.
Sorry to
But
hear
I
that.
have a older daughter, 24, and I have a older son who's 20. So,
Okay. Yeah, I was just asking because part of something I've learned is that, if you don't want to have to watch what you eat, you don't want to have to force yourself to exercise. One of my good friends has a 10 and 11-year-old, and I'm
mhm.
always, if I catch him see him on the trampoline, I'll call him and say, hey, man, I'm gonna run over and jump with the kids or go shoot basketball or whatever, or just flat challenge one of them to a sprint race. I'll find creative ways to stay in shape, whether it
Right.
be just doing something fun or enjoyment. I'll try to get it away from the chore aspect and try to turn it into something that's hobby based or fun or something, that is an added benefit of being healthy. And so that's my
Yeah,
approach.
I need to do that. I mean, I got all the weights I want, need, and in my garage. I do have a spin cycle that I kind of get on that once a week now, and that's even kind of gone by the wayside. But I need to get back on it. So I just need to just get my mind. I just think cutting weight now at this age is just boring to me, like
Mm-hmm.
cardio. I mean, I go for walks with my wife and everything, but if I really want to push it to lose, get down to 220, I got to really, put the work in on the elliptical or the spin cycle. So I'm just start doing that, but it's not until April next year, so I got plenty of time to do that. So
Yep. Yep. And so me being a new and everything still being fresh to me, it's just I'm just got so much motivation and just drive to want to just better myself, try to get healthier, see how strong I can get, everything's still fresh and new. And so I'm trying to take advantage of all that while I've got it.
and the thing is though, I know who said, I think Craig Tuia might have said that learn how to arm wrestle first, and then you can worry about what weight class you're going to be in.
Yep.
I think I came in this sport where I was like, okay, this is what I weigh. I got to be at this weight class. And I was never a wrestler in high school, so I wasn't privy to all the guys who were like 215 cutting weight to be 198 at a tournament, and then all of a sudden once they weigh in, then they're going to some damn, fucking buffet or whatever, and it's like all that food's going to your gut, but whatever. And I'm thinking this guy's pretty huge. How the hell did you make 198? I mean, things like
Yeah.
that. So now I'm kind of used to that, so I don't worry about that as much anymore. So, you know,
Yeah, I see. A phenomenal example I just saw is Dave Shea. I don't know if you know him or friends with him, but
oh yeah,
he's like a massive dude, and he did some keto diet, got his water and salt intake real low or whatever. His body wasn't retaining much water. His body fat was low, and so he weighed in at 220. And he said he went and smashed some pizzas and some greasy cheeseburgers, and like 2 days later he was back up to 242. I'm like, holy
yeah.
smokes.
It's just and that's the one I don't want to do that to my body either. Like just spend all that time and effort to call
Mm,
that weight just
mm.
to say, hey, I made weight. Now let me go ahead and just eat a bunch of spaghetti, whatever. I'm mad. It's like I don't want to do that either because you spend all that hard work to do that just to say fuck it after you got the weight. Now I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
do all that. I don't know, man. People, my first ever nationals was in 2012, and I got a preview to that kind of stuff, and I was like, man. And my teammate kind of got my ear and was like, doing, dude, hey man, we got to cut down weight. I'm like, for what? All I got to do is lose 3 pounds. He goes, no. Guys are at 215, 220 are coming down to 198 because it was a national. I'm thinking, oh, damn. So I said, okay, fine. So like a stupid, the week of, here I am eating nothing but salad and fruit, drinking water. That was it, right? So my stomach shriveled. Quick story. So it was in Reno, Nevada that year at Harris
Mhm.
Casino. And, the three of us at the time, we drove this 6-hour drive to Reno, Nevada from where I'm at. So we hopped in the car. We took our scale. We're like weighing every, a couple hours we weigh ourselves. Okay, we're on, we're right there. We finally arrived in Reno. We registered, check in our hotel and stuff. Hey man, let's go ahead and do this, man. So we're like going in the sauna, the steam room and stuff. And I never done that before. So I was thinking, all right, cool, let me do it, fine, whatever. You go into the sauna, and I'm in there with like all the guys from the country. It's a national, so everybody's in there with chit chat and talking. People go in for a little bit and come out. Never knew why. I'm thinking, you guys are a bunch of sissies. I'm like, I'm gonna hang out here as long as I can. And I come out there, and then as soon as the air hits me, I damn near fainted, right? Thinking, my God, So they pick me up, you're all right? I'm like, yeah. Let's go ahead and try to weigh this thing. So we go down to registration. True story. I get on that scale and I'm 2 ounces over. I'm like, fuck. Now what? We got about maybe 15 minutes left before registration's done. Right? I didn't came this far. I'm 2 ounces over. I'm gonna make this. So I told the guy, I said, what do I do? He said, you got two choices. You could probably go back, sauna, put one of those garbage sacks on, runs laps, whatever. Or let's just try this. He said, take off your wedding ring, drop trowel, and see where you're at. I said, let's do it. So my teammate kind of like made this wall because behind the curtain, but you can still kind of see, because
Uh-huh.
people are still registering. Made this wall, dropped trowel, took off my ring, boom, made weight. But the weight was 187 pounds, right?
On the
I'm
nose, right?
thinking, I'm thinking, cool. Got my stuff, let's roll. Took the elevator up to the food court, went to Quiznos, got me a 12-inch roast beef sandwich and one of the biggest Dr. Peppers you can have. Had 3 bites and I was full because my stomach had shrunk that whole time, So I was like, all right, cool, But hey, I was I was known as a fast cooler, still am. But when you don't eat anything, you don't train. I didn't lift weights back then, so that's why I was always maintaining that. Um, got to there, and all of a sudden, I felt quick, but I had no power. And that experience alone taught me that I need to get in the gym and make some serious weight moves because being light, being fast is one thing, but if I don't have any strength behind that, then it's not going to matter. So that was one of those you live and learn moments.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That was a tough, it seemed like a pretty tough lesson to learn too, putting all that work in, doing all that mess. And then
Right,
after a match or two, you feel like, man, I just don't have the power I feel like I should have.
right. So now I'm up there laughing at people cutting weight. I'm sitting there laughing at them.
Oh, you got
So
to be weak.
exactly. So, but I mean, I get it. But yeah, I mean, this sport, you go to these roller coasters and you find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I've had people tell me before in the past, dude, you got to be 176. Why? Well, if you want to be a world champion, you got to be 198 or you got to be 176. I'm like, dude, nobody knows your body better than you, right? So
Yeah.
in this instance, I'm like, dude, that's fine. Thanks for the advice, but if I go to 176, I'm gonna have no power because at some point you're gonna lose power. Where if I cut so much weight down to a weight class down, or maybe in a second one, then guess what? I'm gonna be competing with guys who are naturally strong right there. They didn't lose any weight, but I did. So I'm
Mhm.
sacrificing a lot of power just to be in a lighter weight class for what? You know?
Yep. If you don't, I think if you don't condition yourself or do that kind of thing on a regular basis, I think you just won't ready to be, perform. If you're
Yeah.
not basically practice to me is practice is the time to literally practice what you're going to do when it comes time to compete. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something I think is very important is however things are going to be at the tournament or whatever situation you're going to put yourself in, if
Right.
you get drunk every single time you practice, then don't show up to a competition sober. You know what I'm saying? Or something like
Right.
vice
No, I
versa.
totally get that.
Don't
If you're
start, don't start a practice match like this every single match because then when the referee turns you out to here at the competition and you totally feel off. You know what I mean? Or
oh God, we got those too. you're gonna have those guys want to practice. Go ahead and grip up. They're like
Yeah,
that. I'm like,
exactly.
dude, get the bow
Or
out.
they're
Okay, fine.
like got their shoulder in, like this, like half turned sideways, and you're like, the referee's gonna do this. I mean,
Right.
don't come all, like you've already got your half press in, like trying to start, like, they do
And
all
then they
that
look at
trash, but I just, you've seen it.
and then they look at you like, what am I doing? Like, come on, dudes, really?
Yeah.
We know all the tricks. Like I said, when you've been around the sport, you kind of see all the tricks. I'm like, you know what? I ain't gonna fight it. Just go ahead and do your thing. I'm gonna start straight. Because then if I do beat you when I'm straight and you're not, then that makes me that much better.
Exactly. And then sitting here, yeah, you see all kind of mess like that, but you just pretty much learn over time not to not to do stuff you're not going to be able to get away with in practice. It
Yeah.
just makes no sense to do something over and over and over again, and whatever it may be, if the ref's not going to allow it. That's why, to me, ego pulling in practice, there's no point in it. If anything, you should be trying to replicate exactly what you're going to get in a competition. And so that's when, to me, you're going to get your most consistent performances, is the more times you can replicate something.
Right. So, like I said, I mean, some people get it, others don't. It's a shame. So we try to when we get new people on our team, we say, hey, this is how we do things, because I want you guys to be comfortable. So when you go to a tournament, you're not like got this deer in the headlights look like, well, this is not comfortable now. I'm like, well, yeah, because if you're training like this or you're training like that, and the referee is going to straighten their wrist out, square up, and then if this is unnatural to you, then you really got to practice that, at your practice facility.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think having your team and having your training partner guys kind of all on the same page, or at least being familiar with them, is important. That's one part of becoming an somewhat established or elite arm wrestler that I am, or more elite or more established, is I'm not looking forward to. Is, could you imagine being a Jerry Caderet and going around, like, say, remember how he went on his vacation thing in Florida, and then
Yeah.
Chance and everybody jumped all over him? Could you imagine just like kind of being your off season where you're not really peaked to pull, and you're just kind of want to have just a regular leisure old practice, and then it's like as soon
Everybody
as you put
shows
your
up.
arm down, the cameras fly out, and then everybody is just trying to beat you. That's it. Like, they're just trying to get all the crap they can, and then just trying to pin you, and they don't, there ain't, I don't, you understand what I'm trying to say?
No, I get it. I mean, it's sad because it's like going, what the cameras didn't get is when he was fresh.
Right.
They get when, oh, I got him, like, which is cool. Like, that's like when Michael Todd came to Portland last year, and we had a few matches left-handed where it was like an impromptu super match, and he got me 3-2, but it wasn't like, hey, I can beat Michael Todd. Hey, I can hang with it. There's nothing like that. We knew the stipulation. He was just going to go, hey, I'm going to grip you. You go. I'm going to see if I can come back and catch you. On some he did, others he didn't. That's just the way it is. But I would never take that out of context. I never did. And, some people are like, oh, dude, you got Michael Todd. You can go toe-to-toe with him. I was like, not necessarily, because if you really want to beat me, he could. But we're sparring. And I think people kind of take that for granted. It's like UFC. You're sparring. Your training partners. Why sit there and use that as like, oh, I can beat this guy because I caught him off guard. Okay, well, trust me, a practice version of me ain't nowhere the version of me come competition day.
Right.
Right. So, I'm more teaching and trying to learn my, defects in the sport, like, my weak points in practice. Come tournament time, I'm locked and loaded. I'm a whole different person. So yeah, I've had guys come to me and go, "What the fuck, dude? I always beat you in practice." I'm like, "Well, yeah, because I'm practicing. We're not. If we want to do a ready go, we'll do a ready go. But I'm practicing right now. So you go ahead and give me everything you got because I'm working on something. Yeah. I need to know that if I get into a bad spot, can I come back from it? Mm-hmm. Not just you'll know too. You get the practice champion, right? They want to sit there and just bing, 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 or they want to do king of the table every weekend. Like, what the fuck does that even, I don't mind king of the table at the end of practice, but to make that your focal point of practice, what does that teach?
No.
No one's getting any better. You're
No.
just going to the pad.
And
And that's
nobody's
one thing
really
we
getting
used
a
to
workout either. Nobody really
right.
gets a workout either.
Right. That's one thing we used to do when our team first started. It was just a bunch of, you know, practice ready goes. And, you know, that was fine. Only problem is that we were never 100% going into a tournament.
Yeah.
But when, you know, when someone tried to hit, if we tried to hit and someone caught our hit, whether it be here or they catch it up here,
right
then
there.
it's like, right. Then it's like, okay, now what? Well, yeah, you're deer in the headlights because we don't train that because all we want to do is just ready, go, ready, go, ready, go. Doesn't teach you anything, you know?
Yeah, and it just goes both ways. I mean, could you imagine if on Michael Todd's RV tour, he didn't do anything, but every time he gripped up, he just hit the press on everybody?
Right.
I mean, would that even be anything at all? You know, if he didn't, I mean, most guys left-handed, I don't really care who you are, or right-handed for that matter. I don't see too many people being able to stop Michael Todd's press if he just turns and presses. Everybody says King's move, but whenever he gets behind in an arm wrestling match, he normally catches back up by shooting his press, whether it be left or right. It's just he's got so much mass coming forward and so much tricep. I mean, it's just a really hard move to try to pull out of. I don't know if
Hey,
you agree, but I would guess you probably would.
I felt that firsthand. And we were just sparring. I felt that. I was like, oh, wow. It was just like, I wouldn't say a sucker punch, but it was more like he did it. You didn't have time to react to it. Like, oh, shit, what happened? You know,
Yeah.
and that's what it feels like.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
you know?
that's what I would imagine. I didn't even know if he used it on you, but I figured if he did, it's hard to catch. I mean, if Todd Hutchings can't catch it, who's going to catch it? I mean,
the only way I was able to survive out of that is if I were to stay outside.
Yeah.
If I stayed outside of his hand, then I was able to work with it.
Uh-huh.
You know, because he's a different puller on the left side than he is on the right. His right is elite level. His left is still good. I don't want people thinking that it's not. But if I was able to stay on top and off his hand,
okay,
you know, I had a chance to at least hanging with him, you know, got a few pins. But again, I will never say that, you know, I will never use that platform as to say I can beat Michael Todd because I can't. It was just a thing, you know, that he did. And in fact, he actually, after the training thing was over, he kind of showed me a few things with the press. He kind of showed me a few things. I'm thinking, all right, cool. So I put that in my arsenal, and it worked pretty good. So,
well, sweet. Yeah, he's a hell of a guy. I missed that RV tour. I really do. But
yeah.
What or not, that's cool though. I mean, how many people can say they supermatched Michael Todd? I mean, whether it be left or right, it doesn't really matter. That's just a heck of a time. But hey, I've really enjoyed our conversation so far. I got to say that I didn't anticipate. I'm not complaining, but I definitely didn't anticipate for us to be talking this long. But hey, I've been entertained the whole time, and I feel like we've kept the conversations relevant. And I'm so glad my friend gave me the advice to start asking people, you know, what their stance is on PEDs because it's a real thing. And steroids, right. It's a real thing, but I don't want to just spring it on people. So I'm going to ask them if they feel comfortable talking about it, you know, previously in the chat. I'm not just going to get somebody on here and say, oh, hey, by the way, are you natty or not? You know, because I don't think people want that. So, but hey,
no,
it's a real thing. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm open book. I'm glad you had me on the show. And yes, I am natty. I'm just, you know, I got a dad bod. So, you know, with a little strength here and there. But yeah, I mean, I told you how I felt about the PEDs. I mean, I don't personally have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I just wish they have their own division, you know, so that way you don't come down here to the guys in the naturals. You don't come down in our sandbox and start, you know, throwing us around and then, you know, claiming you are what you are. Because if you weren't, then you wouldn't be doing it, or you'd be over there with the other elite guys. That's my whole point about that. So.
Yep, and that's a perfectly good stance. And so one more time, I'll put your link in the description. But if you just want to say what the two YouTube channels you're involved in one more time, and then we'll go ahead and.
Yeah, so Arm Talk is my podcast show. Right. YouTube channel, Jody Williams. And then I'm a co-host with the other show, the K&M Connection with Ryan Espy. And it's on Ryan Espy's YouTube channel. So check us up. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody.
All right. Appreciate it, everybody. We're going to get out of here, and I'll link all three of those in the description. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, sir.
See
Take
you.
care, everybody. Thanks for having me, Derek.
Yep, you too, brother. Talk to you soon.
See you later.